Hi everyone, it's me, Lyric Soul Tarot here, and I am going to do my year ahead spread. So I do mine a little bit differently than probably most people do. I actually use my Kipper deck to do my yearly reading. I also use it throughout the year sometimes if I want to do like a big spread or something like that. Like I usually do a yearly spread and like a 6-month spread with my Kipper deck. So there's that. I also have my this is my tarot journal here. Oops. That I will be recording it in. So I will be a little bit slow, but with editing, hopefully it won't be too bad for you guys. So if you're not familiar with how Kipper works, it's an all-card spread. Well, you could do it other ways too, but usually I typically just do it with an all-card spread. And it's kind of like Oracle mixed with Lenormand, but not. It's like its own system. So if this is your first introduction to Kipper, awesome. If not, awesome still. All right, but here's what we're gonna do. I already shuffled off camera before we started. So here's my deck. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna take my left hand and I'm gonna split the deck into 3. So I usually just do the bottom card as 1. Oh, the bottom card is 1, so I gotta go over here. Sorry, I'm kind of like reaching over my setup here. So that one, and then I really feel like the first one, but that's stupid. Whatever, we're gonna go for it. So, okay, now I split my my deck into 3, and here's what we're going to do from here. We're going to flip them over, and the 3 cards that are shown here are going to be your main theme, right? So something you have to keep in mind throughout the reading, and you'll probably want to record them. So, ooh, short illness, that's fantastic. Speaking of short illness, I'm still sick today, you guys. Marriage card, all right. Ooh, this is one of my favorite cards, a change. So I'm just going to go ahead and write those down real quick. Now with a short illness, this card could mean quite literally a short illness. I mean, like it's short, so it's a brief discomfort, right? So it doesn't necessarily mean like you're going to get sick or somebody around you is going to get sick. It could mean that, but it also could mean other things. It's just reminding you to pay attention to your body, pay attention to what your body's trying to tell you. Like me, my symptoms have not gotten any better today. I should probably keep an eye on that. And if they get any worse or if they don't go away by tomorrow, I should probably contact a doctor and see if something is seriously wrong. So it's just kind of like a little reminder to stop, take a breather, connect to your body, and if something is persisting, then seriously, take it seriously. Don't just like poo-poo it and, you know, like, oh, it's nothing, I'll be fine, because nothing sometimes actually is something. So it's just a kind of reminder for that. It may not necessarily be for me, it may be for somebody else. We won't know until, well, actually it is for me because it popped up in these 3 cards. But if it was in like the main spread, it might not be you, it might be somebody else. So just keep that in mind. But since it popped up in my 3 cards here, it's for me. Moving on. So the next card in the 3 cards here, the 3 main cards here, is marriage card. And it symbolizes all relationships, not just a marriage. So it could represent friends, family, not just, you know, a romantic relationship. And with this one, it actually depends on what cards are surrounding it in the main spread. If it is in a positive light or a negative light. So we won't really know that until we spread out all the cards. It may hint at a wedding or something like that, but obviously not for me because I'm perpetually single and will die alone. For me, since it is in the 3 card spread here and it's just me, it could be like a character. It could stand for like character traits, which would be the ability and willingness to bond with somebody. So obviously I joke about dying alone all the time, but I don't want to. So I really feel like this card is my neediness. I just realized how personal this video might be, and I don't know if I'm comfortable with that now, but too late now, right? We're in it. I guess I don't have to upload it if I don't want to. All right, and then the last card we have here is a change, which I said was one of my favorite cards. Which is one of my favorite cards in this little deck here to get, probably for the same reason why the Tower or Death is one of my favorite cards to get, or the Fool even. It's because, you know, change isn't always bad. Change can be for the better. And if you feel like you're stuck, if you feel like you're in a rut, a change can be so cathartic and so relaxing and freeing, kind of, I guess I would say. That's not the right words that I'm trying to find, but you know what I mean. Welcome, a welcome change. Like I said, it literally means what it says, a change. Something is going to change. It could be job, it could be somebody coming into or out of your life, it could be literally a change of location. Like she's in her hot air balloon here. So it could be like you're actually going somewhere else, or a new beginning that has already been set in motion. So that may sound, I just realized that may sound like super vague, and it is right now. But all that is going to change when you do the big spread. So keep that in mind. I'm not being like super vague. That's not the end of this spread, okay? That's the first part. So then what you're gonna do is you are going to put it all back together how it was. Okay. And then you're gonna lay out the big spread, which I am going to do off camera because it's gonna take some time. I have to get up and make sure everything's fine. So when I come back, you will see that. All right, so we're back. I'm sorry you can't see all of the cards, but there's a lot of cards. So it's actually 36 cards, and while they are small cards, there's 36 cards. So what you're gonna do is, it is a row of 9 cards and 4 columns. So when you lay them down, you do one row, the next row, the next row, the next row. So the first thing that I do when I lay down the spread like this is I look for my 3 cards from the beginning, and I see what cards are surrounding them. This is the first thing that I go off of, otherwise it gets too overwhelming for me, because I start to see things and my attention starts to get diverted from there. So first I see short illness right there. Now all the cards don't mean something, it's just really what it means to you. So how you read these is you can either go what is that called? Horizontally, vertically, or diagonally. And you can switch it up. You don't have to like, oh, I'm just gonna read these diagonally. You can, whatever makes sense to you. So I see a short illness, and we already established that I need to pay attention to my body. It could be nothing, but it could be something. So right next to here, I see sad news. That's diagonally. I see sad news. And so maybe if I don't pay attention, then I'm definitely gonna have some sad news, right? So half of what it would be maybe like early prevention for whatever is ailing me, to prevent it from becoming more serious than it could be. House. So house could mean like a literal house, but more often than not, it means more than that. So it could stand for like the family. So like the family unit or anything like that. So short illness, family, maybe it's something that somebody in my family has dealt with before. Now, I'm not gonna freak out and run out and be like, please test me for every single illness that my family has had. That's not what I'm getting at here. What I am going to do is I'm going to actually pay attention to my body. I have a bad habit of getting very focused when school is in session, and I'm dealing with the semester and all the work that I have to do. I have a tendency to really just sorry, I'm moving the camera here. I have a tendency to really just focus on that instead of my body and maybe self-care, I guess you would say. So maybe what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep in mind everything. Like I do have this irrational fear that my grandmother, my Oma, she died from cancer. So whenever I don't feel right, I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna get cancer and die just like her. So that's just a natural human thing when you were so close to somebody, and if you've known or have been close to somebody with cancer, then that's kind of always in the back of your mind, like, oh my God, what if I get it too? So, I mean, you just can't let that rule your life, honestly. So that's what I see. So I would maybe just keep an eye on that. But also right next to short illness is great happiness. And this is like one of the best cards that you could get in a reading. It means like no matter what the cards around it, it turns it positive. So a short illness, like I said, if you catch it early, nothing could be seriously wrong. Or it could be like just like right now, like I feel like really sick right now. I've been sick. This is the second day I've been sick, but good happiness, it's nothing, you know what I mean? So I'm not seeing this card next to this card. I'm not even worried. Like it's not even on my radar. Also, sad news is right underneath great happiness. So you might be thinking, oh, well, that's just like a contradiction. That's what? And the sad news, it could mean mild illness, which we see right here. So like it's connected. This also means like letting go of something. So it doesn't necessarily mean like you're gonna get bad news. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're gonna have to physically mourn a person who dies. That's not what that card means. It's like letting go, right? You maybe need to let go of something old, some like ideal that you have. You need to mourn and make space for something new. And that kind of goes with this. Like you need to make space for that great happiness. And please bring this to me. Bring this to me. I need this. So yes, so weep, cry, you know, get it all out, mourn it, and then it'll make way for something great. And I'm kind of getting emotional right now because I had like a little mini breakdown the other night. So maybe that was that happening. I keep forgetting that this is for the year ahead, not for right now, but maybe, I don't know, the cards are like, hey, maybe you're bringing that energy into the reading right now. I don't know. I'm going to have to sit with this. So And then you can also build off of that. So going off of the great happiness is expectation, which is right next to it. The expectation card is just that. It's your expectation. You're expecting something. You're wishing for something to happen. You are hoping for something to happen. And the fact that the great happiness card is right next to it means that it's probably going to come to fruition. It's probably going to happen. And I keep saying you, like I'm talking to somebody else, but this is my own damn reading, so maybe I should change my verbiage. But so that's cool. What am I expecting? I'm gonna have to think on that for a second here. Hang on a second. I'm expecting a lot of things to happen, but what am I expecting to happen in 2018? There's two major things that I'm expecting to happen in 2018. And if either or both of those happen, I would be one happy clam. That's as far as I want to take that one. I mean, I could go further. Like short illness, I see prison right here. Going back to the card we were originally at, I see prison right here. Prison doesn't mean an actual prison, but in terms of short illness being like my body, I do sometimes feel like I am limited in what I can do because I do have severe scoliosis, so I'm in a lot of pain a lot of the time. So a lot of the time I do feel like maybe I am imprisoned by the stupid ugly body that I'm in right now. So maybe addressing that and taking that a little bit further upon like reflection and breaking that mindset. Next, we're gonna look for the second card we got, which was the marriage card. Trying to find it. Hang on a second. Oh, okay. It's right here. So, sorry, I'm trying to like see past my setup, which is ridiculous. So, here's the marriage card. It is next to gaining a lot of money. Yes, please. And receiving a gift. So overall, the cards that surround the marriage card are very positive, which if you remember, I said the influence of the cards around this card matter. So gaining a lot of money is positive, I would say. I don't know about you. And receiving a gift is pretty positive. Oh, I see. Okay. I see something that's happening here. Sorry. So these are both very positive things. And I could read a little bit more into that. So the receiving a gift card is actually a lucky card. It could mean receiving an actual gift. It means like things are changing into my favor. I still keep saying you, but it's me. So it's like whatever you set out to do right now, it's gonna work out. It's gonna turn out into your favor. It's gonna be a gift. You know what I mean? So the fact that that is next to the willingness to be with somebody card for me, or the relationships card, because it's not just a romantic relationship. It's all relationships, right? So that's cool. Okay, so I'm actually seeing a lot of things right now. So the marriage card is right next to this card right here. The receiving a gift card. So the marriage card, this is the meetings card, and then this is the main person number one. And if you've never read with Kipper before, there's actually two people cards that you want to pay attention to. If you are a female reading the cards for yourself or another female, you want to pay attention to main person number two. That represents you. And then main person number one would represent your significant other, or if you are reading for a male, or if you are a male reading for yourself, main person number one would represent you, and main person number one would represent your female partner. If you are gay, then you're going to want to look for, and if you are a female, main person is still you, but let's see if I can find her. Where is she? Oh my God, I'm blind. Where is she? Oh, there she is. Good lady. So a good lady would represent your partner. If you are gay and you are a male reading for yourself, main person number one is still going to be you, and then a good gentleman is going to be your partner. So these are the people cards that you want to pay attention to. So this is me. next to receiving a gift and success in love. So, I mean, it's going to be a very loving year for me, I feel like, which I'm okay with because, hello, I'm going to die alone. But, okay, so we have marriage card, meeting card, and then main person number 1. So, that's interesting. And then underneath him, we have a journey, and then underneath that, we have me. So, wow. So, I definitely feel like, and I've always kind of felt this, so this is kind of weird that it's popping up. I've always felt like my person is not here where I am. My person is somewhere else. And so, wow, I'm revealing a lot of things to you guys today, and I don't know if I feel comfortable with that, but I guess we're gonna go for it. I did not think this through, but I've always felt like my person is not here. So the fact that a journey card is separating us is very significant to me. A gift, receiving a gift, and then meetings card is right next to that or above that. So that's very poignant. The meeting is a gift, and what does the meeting bring me? Whoa, but I have to go. What? Do you see how it all comes together? And I see 2 other amazing cards that are over here. So next to, oh, man, hang on a second. So next to him, I see this card here, and you, oh, not that one. Well, that one too, but this one mostly. I'm going to bring it closer. So it is the High Honors card, and you can really see it way over there. There you go. So it's a High Honors card, and if you just give me a second, I can tell you what that means. High Honors is that things are progressing. So in terms of career, it's a very positive card, which shows that the situation is improving. Something's going to take a turn for the better. So the fact that it's next to him, maybe he was dealing with some things, I don't know. I typically don't like to read for other people without their consent or knowledge, but the fact that he's just popping up, I feel like gives me the ability to do that. So maybe something was looking, a little shaky for him for a minute, but things are improving for him in terms of that. It is also right next to the journey card, and I have been having a little bit of issues with my trip to Paris, and I have been having issues with my trip this summer that I don't know if I'll be able to take my trip this summer. So, I mean, a gift, it could be either trip for me, honestly. This card here could be either trip for me. And I would have to keep both of those trips in mind during this reading, because there's really no way to tell which is which. Sorry, I was looking at other cards, but I mean, I have been having issues with both trips, so that's something to keep in mind. Although one of the trips is more long-term than the other one, so I think it might be the summer trip, because the summer trip is actually supposed to lead into something more long-term than the Paris trip. So, and if it's long-term, then he would be involved. You know what I mean? So I have a feeling this would be the summer trip indicator, and he is where I thought he would be. And yes, it might work out for me. I'm hoping, right? Right. I'm reading that right? Right. So another card that I saw that is oh my goodness, I got too excited, sorry. Another card that I saw was diagonal from both of us is this one right here. And this card, it is Hope Big Water, right? And you're thinking, what the fuck does that mean? And I will tell you what that means. That is a good card. It's generally a positive card, right? And it represents big dreams and hopes and wishes and what is in your soul, right? It also could mean like pipe dreams and stuff like that. It depends on what cards are around it. So it could be also a warning card of, you know, a temporary high kind of thing. Again, depends on what cards are around it. It also represents spirituality, which I think you could see through the imagery of the card. So the fact that that card is next diagonal from me, I understand that personally. Like, I get that. That speaks to me because, and especially with the success in love card, and I'm gonna get emotional right now. Give me a second here. So I have always, oh my God, I'm gonna cry. Fuck. Okay, let's try not to swear. It's my resolution for this channel, not in life, just in this channel. But I have always felt very unloved and unwanted. Not in terms of like friendship or anything like that, just strictly, well, I guess in all areas, I guess, but mostly in romantic sense, right? So success in love is actually one of my, sorry. So success in love is actually one of my biggest hopes. Like, that's one of my biggest things. I joke and I I'm gonna die alone, and people like don't take me seriously that I actually think that way, but some days I actually think that way. Like, some days that is where my mind is at. And I'm mourning right now because I'm at a very emotional point in my life right now. Ladies, you know what I'm talking about. But the fact that that is next to that is, for me, it speaks volumes. Like, I get it. I understand that part. The fact that I am right here next to a journey, and it is right here next to this card here. I really want to travel. I want to go. I want to go places. I want to see things. I want to live how I want to live. And it's very frustrating that I can't do that right now. But that is one of my hopes, to go travel and to be somewhere else. I don't want to be here. And I've made that very clear on multiple occasions. So the fact that he is next to all of those cards too kind of suggests to me that he is feeling the same way, right? Maybe not the love part, because that's kind of just right next to me. But I mean, if you trace that line, like, it could be for him too. So the fact that it's all clumped together in this one area here gives me hope that, it just gives me hope. So, wow, that was that. We're gonna move on. Guys, like, these readings take forever. We're not even to the third card yet, which is right here, down here in the corner here. But just give me a second here. All right. So the last of the main cards that we have left is, I'm just going to move the camera here, is a change card. So we see that it is right below success in love. What that could mean, maybe since it is right next to me, maybe my outlook towards that, a change in outlook towards that, a change in mindset towards that. That could very well be the case. Interesting. A change, like I said, a change in location. That actually goes with everything else that we just said. So that's a possibility. It is also right next to the bereavement card. So bereavement doesn't necessarily mean somebody's going to die. I know it looks scary. It looks like that's what that means, but not necessarily. It just means like an ending. Something's coming to an end. So like familiar surroundings could be, you could say goodbye to familiar surroundings. You could say goodbye to like a disease or friends or something like that, right? So, or a job even. So it's just urging you to rethink your current situation. And it is right underneath me, so I would probably have to rethink look at, and it's diagonal from success and love. So what I said earlier, like a change of mindset, rethink what this means to me, right? So, and it also said like goodbye to, like I said, goodbye to familiar surroundings, a change, goodbye to a way of thinking, a change, you know what I mean? So that's kind of cool. That goes together. So I'm gonna move the camera again. We're gonna look out and I'm gonna see if I can find anything else that catches my eye. And with these kinds of spreads, you don't have to read every card. Every card doesn't have to have like a specific like meaning or a specific, I mean, it does have a specific meaning, but you know what I mean? Like in a spread this big, you don't have to go card by card by card. It's whatever catches you, whatever, you know, throws out to you. So I do see something here. I'm gonna move here. So work occupation. That does literally mean work occupation, but it also could do, it also could like represent outside work, like gardening and exercise and stuff like that. But to me right now, it feels very much like my actual job. And I do notice that it is surrounded by false person, which is exactly what it sounds like, and unexpected money, which I will gladly take. Thank you. So maybe I need to be on the lookout at my job for somebody who is not who they claim to be. So somebody who says they are, you know, buddy buddy to your face and then turn around and talk shit to you about you. I'm very guarded at work in terms of who I am friends with. I've been at my job for close to, it will be going on 3 years. Is that right? Yeah, going on 3 years. 3 years in March. So the people that are, most of the people that are there are people who have been there from the beginning. So I have been working with everybody there, or almost everybody there, for 3 years now. So I feel like I have a pretty good handle on who I'm dealing with at work, and there are some people who I don't wish to associate with more, but this is always something to keep in the back of my mind. I'm a pretty good judge of character. I feel like I get a very good sense of who's bullshitting me and who's not. Must be my Capricorn sun at work there. I feel like I got a good handle on this. But also unexpected money, and it's kind of interesting that it is right above my work occupation card, because I did hear there was rumors before Christmas time, so maybe like 2 months ago, a manager came to me and she said, hey, by the way, you guys will probably be getting 2 raises a year instead of 1. But I don't know if I'm supposed to tell you this or not, so don't tell anyone. Well, I haven't heard anything since then. No other managers have said anything to me since then about that. So, and I obviously didn't tell anybody, but unexpected money, that could be one of the things, since it's right there. So unexpected money is not really a raise, because a raise is expected. You get a raise like at the same time every year. Maybe, but like 2 raises, you don't expect another raise. You know what I mean? So it could be that. I think that's really all that's calling out to me right now. Usually when I do these readings, I do Usually when I do these readings, I do spend a lot of time on like one section of the reading, and then the other reading doesn't really have anything, or the other side of the reading doesn't really have anything for me. So that didn't surprise me that like most of my stuff is like over here, and there's not really much over here. Also, another thing to keep in mind when you are doing Kipper readings, and you're like focusing on your main person card, the things that are closest to you are the most imminent. The things that are furthest away from you are off in the future. The direction that the person is looking at is very important too. So everything on this side is in the future, and everything on this side is not necessarily in the past, but not the focus at the moment, right? So with the female person card, everything this way is in the future. Everything in this on this side is not in the realm of focus right now. But with the male person card, it's the opposite, right? So everything. I think that's about it. If you guys have any questions whatsoever on Kipper readings or anything like that, please feel free to go ahead and leave your questions below. Thank you for watching my little rambly reading here for my year ahead. I honestly think it came out to be more of a right now reading instead of a year ahead reading. So I probably will do this again off camera, maybe in a few days, and hopefully gain some different energy. I think the cards were just excited because I haven't pulled them out since, you know, summer when I did a 6-month reading. So I'll probably do another reading for my year ahead off camera. But thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys later. Bye!